Hi everybody, it's ID Charles here. This morning, I want to first of all send my condolences to Daddy Adeboye for the death of his son, who was only 42, and his lovely wife, who he has left behind, and his kids. I want to pray that God will comfort the family and every young person that has passed on in the last couple of months, especially our young girl Iniobong Moren, who was raped and murdered and buried in a shallow grave. I want to extend my condolences to every other family member. Our prayers are with you, and we stand with you at this time, holding your hand and saying, be comforted. Friends who've lost their spouses and sisters and daughters, my heart goes out to all of you. It's sad that when we go through these things and these things happen, there is nothing that we really sit down to analyze the root cause of the problem. The root cause of all this problem, it boils down to one thing. I mean, Daddy Adeboye's son died in his sleep. Nobody knows what caused his death. But we all know that all these things all boils down to one thing. One of my friends that died last month or 6 weeks ago also died in a hospital through some stuff of I don't want to explain here. It all boils down to one thing, and that one thing is the society that we live in. The society that we live in, the health situation of Nigeria. Let me not talk about Ghana because that's better. Let me not talk about any other African countries because I don't know. I know about Nigeria, so I can talk about Nigeria. The health situation is deplorable. It is poor. It is at the point where we need to act. And these things that happen, probably you think I'll fly out to some other country. I'll get my medical treatment abroad. My dear, when emergency strikes, you cannot fly. You cannot fly. If you have a stroke today, it will take approximately 6 to 8 hours to fly you out. And by that time, the damage has been done permanently. All you're flying out to do is rehabilitation. If you have a heart attack today, you cannot fly anywhere because nobody will fly you. So all that they will need to do is wait. Maybe you die, or maybe you are resuscitated with some deficits. Let's be truthful to ourselves. If you think that what is happening in Nigeria, the health situation, is going to just affect poor people, think again. This is the time that everybody should sit down and ask themselves, what is really the root cause of all this problem? And there's no point keeping quiet in the face of evil people. No point. Whether you are a big man or a small man, everyone needs to open their mouth and speak. Things are getting worse. People will keep dying untimely, unexpectedly. People will die because there is no health system. I stay here and I work here in the UK. There is what is called primary health care, where people access healthcare at the primary community level. If you have a chronic illness like hypertension and diabetes, your general practitioner monitors you, calls you annually for checkup, makes sure you're okay. But back home, there is nothing like that. Nobody knows. You can have high blood pressure for years without knowing. You can be diabetic and one day you just fall down and die. Nobody cares. These are things that people need to begin to talk about. Because it can be me, it can be you. It can be your son, it can be my son. Any one of us. Somebody will die. It will affect every one of us. It is high time we started thinking about what is the root causes and how can we help. By talking, you are in a position of authority, speak. You are in a position of authority, begin to speak. Begin to stand up. The country is getting worse. The health system is deplorable. People are dying that they are not supposed to die. Please, we need to rise up. We need to speak about these things. Let's stop this. It is the will of God. God has given, God has taken. This is why we are in where we are. People have refused to see the reality. The reality is there is no affordable health care. Even if you can afford it, who monitors you except you go there and you pay huge sums of money and they just treat you at that point? We are talking about primary care. We are talking about good health care that is planned and is executed for every citizen. That's what we need so that people can stop dying unexpectedly. I'm not saying people don't die. I am not saying, I've made a video saying death is inevitable. Everybody will die. But there are certain types of death that we are not supposed to die. There are some death that are preventable. This is what I'm talking about today. And it's hurtful when you know that this person is not supposed to die and they die. Please, guys, you will need to sit down and look at reality. What is the root cause of all this problem? Healthcare is zero. There is no primary healthcare. Nothing. People are just walking dead. One day they drop and die. We need to wake up and we need to look at these things critically. We need to be realistic and stop saying it is the will of God. It's no will of God that you die unexpectedly or die because nobody detected that you had hypertension or die because your blood pressure is too high and you didn't know. That is not God's will. So I'm calling all of you religious leaders who have influence. Let's use this time and reflect and see what we can do and speak up. Because it can't be any of us. May God rest their souls.